Hello guys and welcome back to the channel, and today's the 8th EFL show on the channel. Today we've got a lineup of 4 people on, well 5 including myself, but obviously 4 guests. We've got 3 people who've came on before, and then we've got a newbie on as well. Callum, we're going to start with you now. Just introduce yourself as it's your first time on the show.
Hi, well, thanks for having me, first of all. Yeah, well, Reading supporter. I'm really looking forward to this today. Being on here again, thanks for the invite. Getting to have not heated discussions, but very good discussions. Everything EFL and hopefully World Cup as well.
Yeah, hopefully it's going to be good. Fingers crossed. So just tell us then, how did your channel start? What all started it for you?
So, I around about 16, 17, and one day when I was in school, I just thought, do you know what? Because I didn't go to my first Reading game until 2015, so I was a bit late going, and then I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna just record. I've done it for a little while, and then I stopped around about when I was 18, uh, like family issues, and then I started my new channel like year and a half ago. We're doing well so far. I've been to basically every game, every team, shall I say, in League One. I've also done Conference League and what's it called? Europa League football. So it's now completing the 92 for me, plus doing the Reading stuff as well.
Yeah, your channel's doing really well. So close to that 600 subscriber mark as
Yeah,
well. I'm sure we can get you there.
hopefully, fingers crossed, eh?
Fingers crossed. Well, yeah, hopefully it's gonna be a good show, and we're looking forward to get your takes and opinions on everything. We're also joined with Zach on tour. Zach, how are you, mate?
Yeah, not doing too bad, mate. Happily to be on for the third week in a row. How are you?
Yeah, not doing too bad, mate. Thank you. Yeah, you've been on for many times now. It's a weekly routine for you now, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're also joined with Fletch. How are you, mate?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thank you again for having me. Sorry, I was on a flight last week, so couldn't join, but I'm happy to be back.
Yes, it's fantastic for you to be back and giving your thoughts on everything as well. It's going to be good. And we're also joined with Ranulph, also known as the Norfolkian. You haven't been on for a few weeks. You're back on. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I've been well, thanks, Mason. Thank you very much for having me on again. Very happy to be here. I've been doing, I guess you could say, my own stuff the last couple of weeks. I mean, I've been trying to enjoy summer. I've been catching up on some Xbox, of course, but also I've done a recent interview with Norwich gone Barcelona starlet AJ Tavares. So that's on my channel and on the Spotify, and on Spotify now if you want to check that out. I'm really, really proud of that episode. Yeah, and I actually when you called me and just this evening and just asked me if you wanted to come on, I'd literally just come back from a run, didn't know how I was going to spend the evening. So yeah, now I'm spending it doing this. So yeah, again, thank you very much for having me on again, Mason.
Yeah, of course. It's a pleasure to have you on. Hopefully it's gonna be a good show. I'm sure there'll be a few mistakes, but I mean, that's the beauty of the show. That's what makes us unique. So we're gonna get started with Callum now. So just talk us through how your transfer window's gone so far. As you've signed a couple of players that I do know of. Just get us your take on them.
Where do I start? Like, Derek Byron, and you had also, can't remember his name, Portland. What's his?
Lisby.
No, not Lisby. He retired. He came from Portland. Sorry, I'm half asleep. It will come back to me later on. But with them two retiring, the big at 32, he still had some more about him. Obviously, we signed him from Atlanta last season. I obviously started the podcast, but like I liked watching it out. brilliant in the air, mainly as well. It was a shame, really, but every player knows when they need to hang it up. They need to hang it up. And then the
Yeah,
players,
yeah,
yeah, Lipsy, 100%. Now, I was very, very excited with this signing. It's probably our best signing. Well, we've only made two main signings. I was very impressed with this signing. One, because he's young. Two, because he's turned down offers from other clubs as well. And now that has to say something for our development of players. I just can't wait to see him in that kit, doing the best, taking on players with pace, getting some goals as well.
yeah, 100%. Lisby does look a very good signing, and also Godwin Malife, who did really, really well at Burton, one of their standout players for me. Give us your thoughts on that.
We were always lacking in defence, especially when Tyler Binden moved to Forest and Benge moved into Queen's Park Rangers. Now, our defensive problems have been a bit shaky over the last. Had obviously Billy Burns on loan, who has previous EFL experience, so I thought that was quite a good signing for us last season. And then our backline just really looked really shaky. But with coming in strong in the air again, standout player League One last season, and Burton as well. Which, sorry, Burton fans, but he's with us now.
Yeah, so obviously two very strong signings, and fingers crossed you can get more in a few weeks, and I'm sure them two signings are good, and I think definitely Godwin Malife is League One proven. It's just about, can he take you to that next level? It's just going to be interesting to see.
100%. We're crying out for that right back. We need a right back.
Yeah.
Right,
we're gonna start with it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, even with Kelvin playing at right back, he ain't got it in the tank for the full season.
Yeah, fair enough. Coming on to Zach now. So you've had one of the standout transfer windows so far of League One. You brought in the likes of Alfie May from Huddersfield, Tommy Simpkin from Stoke City, James Husband from Blackpool. Some good signings in there. Give us your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I'm really happy with him. Alf May, I reckon he's going to be one of our goal scorers this season. Like we've signed another striker, Frankie Okaronko. He had him for a bit last season, but he got injured, so he had to go back to Everton. But now we've signed him on a permanent deal, so he's back with us now. So I reckon in some games, I reckon him and Alpha May, they both can link up together. Who else have we signed? James Husband, I reckon he'll be brilliant for us. He'll probably pair up with like Jamie McGrath or someone. And so yeah, I reckon if he does that, then they'll both make a good partnership. And then Tommy Simkin, I reckon he's going to be a standout goalkeeper for us. I reckon he's going to. I reckon he'll do brilliant for us, and yeah.
100%. I mean, as we can see here, Billy Sharp is gone. So you definitely think that Alfie May is a big step up to Billy Sharp. It's a good replacement.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, fair enough, and it does look a very good transfer window so far, and it'll be excited to see who else you bring in.
Yeah.
Fletch, we're coming to you now. We've got give us your thoughts on Aston Villa so far and how their transfer window's been.
Well, unfortunately, we've gotten given a fine, I think yesterday or the day before. So apparently, it seems like the Prem wants to keep us, outside of the Big Six, whereas the likes of Spurs and Chelsea can spend as much as they like. That aside, I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot of activity. Obviously, with the World Cup going on, it seems to be a little bit quiet on the transfer front. Unfortunately, the rumors seem to be a lot of outgoings versus incomings. So the likes of Morgan Rogers, Ezri Konsa have been linked with the likes of Arsenal, which is to be expected. I mean, they're in the England side. They're going to garner a lot of attention and that sort of deal. I think it's a lot of, fodder at this point. I don't see it being anything concrete unless someone, stamps up 100 million plus for Morgan. Obviously, with the likes of Anderson going to Man City, I mean, was 115 million of such. It's just, I mean, the money being spent at the top end of the Prem is insane. But I think before we can spend anything, we have to settle our debts. And the breach of financial rules or such is keeping us, unfortunately, from flexing our muscle financially. But hopefully, in the next coming weeks, we can sort it out. We can start to do the business because we have a big Champions League, season ahead, and obviously we want to stay in the top 5 in the Prem. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can do the business.
Yeah, 100%. I do think it is not fair. I think every team should be given that right opportunity to go and spend. But it's just how our football is nowadays, isn't it? But I think Aston Villa will still be up there in the top 4 comfortably for me. We've got Ranulph back. Let's just add him to the stage. Hi, mate.
Yeah,
We're coming on to you now.
Yeah, Mason, did you mute me?
Sorry.
Did you mute me?
Yeah, I heard some background noise, so I had to
That's
mute
all
you.
right. That's fair enough. Yeah, I've sorted that out. I've switched to Google. I was using Opera for a minute ago, but I think we're fine now.
Sounds good. Just talk us through Norwich's transfer window so far.
Okay, so thus far we have brought in Bruno Alves on loan from Cruzeiro. Well, this is just literally going off the top of my head. We might have made a few more signings. We've got Sam Field on a permanent from Queen's Park Rangers, which does make me very happy that Willis isn't here. Otherwise, he'd probably be in floods of tears. Bless him. Wondering where he is. And most recently, we have brought in Andre Brooks from Sheffield United, which I think out of the 3 is probably the cleverest of the lot. And there's still, of course, work to do because I think that, a bunch of people are probably saying Norwich should be targeting the playoffs. I am fully convinced. There is nothing that doesn't convince me that we can't target automatics this season. And that should be the goal. I mean, yes, with Wolves and West Ham in that mix, of course, there are only two automatic spots to go out. But I am fully, but just by what I saw at the end of last season, I'm fully convinced that we can be competitive from game 1 to 46, to be honest. And there's no reason why we can't. I mean, I don't think many people predicted that Coventry would win the league last season, and they did. I mean, after being 2 points above the relegation zone, we were in the relegation zone. We were right in the thick of it. And then Philippe Clement came in and turned things around, just as Frank Lampard did for Cov. So, Andre Brooks, I think, is really shrewd because, last season he would have left Sheffield. Well, if he run down his contract, he would have left Sheffield United on a free transfer. And I think there is a fantastic winger in there. Can't wait to see what he has to offer to the side. And I'm really, really happy to see him in the ranks. Bruno Alves, another South American. Yeah, I'm really, really excited to see what he adds to the back line. Of course, there will now be a lot of depth there with Cordoba, who should hopefully be staying, McConville, Darling, and now Alves as well. So there's going to be a lot of competition for those centre-back pairings, and I can imagine we'll probably experiment with quite a few throughout pre-season. And Sam Field, he's the sort of player who, he probably, he's not, of course, he's a good DM. He probably knows that there are other players in that team
that's, in terms of technical ability, they do surpass him, to be honest. But what he's really good at doing is getting the ball to those players who can move the ball better than him. And then, they go and score goals. Like he got that assist for Anna Spencer-Lamani's amazing goal at Leicester last season. I was in that away end. Chef's kiss. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really, really happy to see him, to see us get him on a permanent, because he's a leader. He's got experience in this league, which we need. And I'm really, really happy to see him at Carrow Road permanently. So overall, good transfer window thus far. If we can, get, hopefully, let's see, 3 to 5 more additions. And I really, really do think that if we play our cards right, we can get Nestor Yarenkunda through the door. I'm putting that out there. I'm just going to say that. Don't call it delusion. Just ask Motore. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But overall, good transfer window thus far, and I hope we've started as we mean to go on in every aspect.
Yeah, looks decent so far, doesn't it? Yeah, Norwich. I think with that extra place in the playoffs for the Championship, I think it's very open. Got likes of West Ham, Wolves, who should be up there, but you never know what can happen in football. But they should definitely be up there. And Burnley for me. And you got the likes of Southampton, Middlesbrough, who were always, up there or thereabouts, challenging. Got Wrexham who are doing well as well. So it's going to be really good next season, and that relegation scrap's also going to be really good to watch and witness as well. I'll come on to Vale now. So I think we've had a really strong start to the window. We brought in Kyle Dempsey from Bolton. He's a central midfielder. We brought in Matthew Craig. He came from Tottenham's under 21s. We brought in Jasper Moon from Burton. And Jackson Smith from Barnsley, who spent the season on loan at Grimsby last season, who was one of the best keepers in that league last season, which is fantastic to hear. Jasper Moon did quite well for Burton last season, and I think he'll do really well this season with Vale. So that's definitely a really good transfer. I do feel like Kyle Dempsey is probably the standout. He did really well for Bolton. He was a bit injury prone, but I do feel like if we can keep him fit, he will be one of our best players next season. Well, this season, and I'm sure we can carry on making some good signings, and I think we will definitely be up there in the top 3. Hopefully, comfortably going up, but you never know. There's some decent sides in there who've made some good signings. I think Bristol Rovers for me have impressed me the most out of everyone. So it's going to be interesting. So with this signings, we've all talked about our clubs, all talked about signings. Obviously, Fletch didn't really have much to go off with Aston Villa as they've been quite quiet, whereas Ranulph had a lot to say with more signings. So hopefully next week, sorry, there'll be some more. So there'll be some signings through the window, and you can talk about those. So we're going to come on to the dreaded EFL ranking fans tier list. It caused a lot of controversy last week, as there was a dreaded battle between Vale or Oldham. So, coming on to the Tin Pot section first, are we in agreement that Wigan and Rochdale should be in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a majority yes.
I agree. Yeah.
So at least we can keep them in there. I'm gonna come on to Crew. So last week we had Dylan on, and he put a Crew in average. It was quite a mixed one for Crew. I did put them in poor because they are Vale's second rivals and they don't. But I'm gonna get everyone's take on this because I do feel like we've freshened up the group a little bit, and it'll be interesting to see what everyone thinks. Callum, where are you putting Crew?
Tin Pot. Absolute tin pot. I'm not saying that to obviously got second rivals. Come on, let's go. A Tin Pot team. I don't think seen anything higher than 2. For any, but I can't remember the last time I've seen them in League One higher. So, 10 pot.
Yeah, fair enough. Zach, what are you going for, mate?
Average. Like the beat us in playoffs. Then after that, then Druce was twice in our last season in League Two. Then in FA Cup we beat him, so I just put him in average.
How were the fans when you played them?
Playoffs were brilliant, and in our last season in League Two, didn't really hear them, and FA Cup didn't really hear them.
So average then? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Fletch, where you putting Crew?
I mean, I'll probably keep it as poor. I mean, I actually been. There was the Mornflake Stadium. I actually been there on a Friday.
Yeah, I
the
saw
crowd.
the post.
Yeah, crowd wasn't great. I mean, I give the section that they have of the supporters. I mean, it was all right. But it was quite a Bear stadium that night. This was a couple years back. They were struggling obviously in League Two. They've done a little better recently. Yeah, I think poor is fine. I mean, it's a ground I think it's too big for them, and sometimes the away supporters do kind of take it over, as we saw with I'm thinking of the likes. Was it Cambridge last season that stormed the pitch at the end of it?
Yeah.
I mean, like you can't have that happen at your own ground. I'm sorry, that just can't. It's unacceptable. So I keep it as poor.
Yeah, fair enough. Ranulph, what you going for Crew?
As in Crew Alexandra.
Yeah.
Who is Alexandra? Glad everyone understood that reference. Yeah, I'd probably keep them in poor as well. Maybe not tin pot. To be fair, I mean, like Fletcher was saying, they've got like a big old ground, a big old stand as well on like the side,
Yeah.
I think, which is huge, by the way. But to be honest, I don't really know enough about Crew Alexandra. I don't even know where it is. So you can call me you can call me as ignorant as you want. Okay. Yeah.
It's fine. They're our second rivals. Say whatever you want about them.
Good. Okay, I'd probably just keep them in poor as well because, like I said, I mean, a lot of League Two teams have have huge grounds that they struggle to fill. Bradford a few years ago being an exception, but yeah, keep them in poor.
Yeah, fair enough. I am going to keep them poor as well. I'm not going to put them in tin pot because I can think of a lot of teams that are way worse than Crew. But when Crew played us, obviously they're our main. Well, for Crew, they're our rivals, but we're their second rivals. They didn't sell out their away end. Didn't sell out our 3,100 away end. They only brought just over 2,000. And for the EFL Cup game, they brought just over 1,000 for the Carabao Cup. When we played them at their ground twice, they couldn't fill the stadium. There was still 1 or 2,000. Well, I'd say a couple thousand empty seats still there, and we couldn't hear them a lot. And we stormed the pitch. There was there's some mental limbs in that Vale away, and there was loads of fans getting on the pitch as well. But no, Crew are poor. I'd say they were. I would say maybe close to Tin Pot, but there's definitely worse teams. But for me, Crew are going into poor. So we've had 3 for poor, 1 for Tin Pot, and 1 for average. The majority is poor, and as we were put into poor last week, I think we will be keeping them in poor, as it's a majority vote. So this average section is very interesting. I think there's very evenly matched fan bases there. We need to go for the Vale Oldham one. As I said a couple of times, there's been a lot of controversy over that one last week. We won't be as there's more fans coming. Obviously, we've got people that pulled out and stuff. We won't be deciding who actually goes above who, as you know, it's quite a big one. But as there was a lot of Oldham has better fans, a lot of Vale have better fans, so it's gonna be an interesting one. I'll calculate the votes from each show. So this is either a Vale or Oldham who has better fans. Let's mix it up. Let's go for you, Ranulph, first.
Okay, well, I am going to immediately say Oldham. Sorry, Mason, I have to say this, but yeah, and the reason I say this is because I've actually got quite a personal experience with Oldham Athletic. A few years ago, I was at that National League promotion final against Southend, and it was electric. Their fans were absolutely mental that day. It was it's the best match vlog I've ever done, even though I don't plan on continuing doing that. It was the best one I've ever done, proudest one I've ever done, and it was one of the best games of football I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it was to the point where you had me celebrating a former Ipswich striker scoring a goal, that being James Norwood. Yeah, Oldham, absolutely fantastic fan base. And to be honest, I mean, just for me, I think they clear Vale. That's my personal opinion. No offense to you, Mason, but Oldham. Now, I'd even give an argument to Oldham for good. To be honest, I know we're not doing the ranking anymore, but I'd give them an argument for good.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll come on to that after. Zach, let's come on to you next. Who has better fans, Vale or Oldham?
I've not really seen an Oldham game in my life, so I can't really say Oldham. I'm going to go Vale. Well, in our last season in League Two, when you came to us, your fans were good. Like when you scored, you were like proper limbs. So yeah.
Sounds good. Callum, what are you going for? We had a little discussion a day before. I did mention it to you. Are you sticking with that decision? You're on the edge, aren't you?
No, so for those that don't know, I've got personal ties with Oldham because I've got family up in Oldham, but I've seen videos of them. I think that game, that promotion match, I've seen after videos. I saw the videos after, and such as a small club like their fans are good. Port Vale, however, when I went there, I think it was the first time we come down from the championship. Guys, and your fans are good. But the first time they're good, then guys now. Or if you want to launch a controversy, I think I'm either only black but what they'll
Yeah. So was that? I couldn't hear you that much there, to be honest. Was that Vale or Oldham?
just like
Vale. Yeah, Vale. Okay. Because I couldn't hear you that much, to be fair. It's a bit echoey, bit of. That's probably just me. So that's a Vale then. Just yeah. So that's 2 for Vale, and that's 1 for Oldham. I mean, let's go on to Fletch next. Fletch, Vale or Oldham?
As Randolph said, I'm gonna have to go Oldham here, and I think there is a discussion to have them in good. I mean, I know the club has been down out of on their luck, in the past, I'd say 5 to 10 seasons. I mean, I know they were were they the first former Prem to go to non-league, I think. But no, Oldham, I mean, it's a good support. I mean, proper supporters, and the fact that the club's now kind of on the up. They fill the ground. I got love for Vale, but I'm gonna have to go Oldham here.
Yeah, fair enough. So that's 2-2, but yeah, I think it's got to be Vale. It's got to be Vale for me. Obviously, I'm looking at numbers. I think the home support's quite similar. I think we're both quite the same. I think we're both for home support. I'd say we were both poor. If it was a ranking fan base for home for home fans, we'd be putting poor. But if it was an away ranking fans, we'd both be in good. So I think it's kind of a mix of both. That's why we're both in average. But I do think Vale edge it for me in terms of the away support. I think our away support is class. And I definitely think it will be the best in League Two next season. And that's not me being, well, it's not hopefully not me being biased, but I do think we will have the best support next season in League Two. Obviously, last season, the highest was like 990. I think that was Bristol Rovers who got that. So what that was good for first place. Well, it wasn't great for first place. I think next season Vale will definitely sell over 1,000 on average, especially if we have a good season. So for me, I'll put Vale. So that's 3-2 to Vale. But with it being very very tight again, we're going to keep them. It's not decided. It can't be decided. It's like we've got like the same amount of votes from last week and this week. I think Vale edge it by 1 vote. I'll have to just make sure. But that discussion will still continue, and I'm sure next season will be interesting to see how fans are as well. So we've got Watford, Doncaster, and QPR in there. We're gonna come on to Watford now because I don't rate Watford's fans that much.
I agree.
I know
Agree.
we've got a couple of Dylan Presley who was on last week who do rate Watford's fans. They had them in that good category. I put them in the lower end of average. So did I think Zach. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your thoughts on this one, Callum?
Right. So last time we played, I'm going to go with their away support first. Last time we played them was in the FA Cup when Shane Long obviously was our striker. Now their support was amazing. They actually filled out. They kind of moved us fans round to the family bit because they did actually sell out at our place. They were bringing atmosphere, just everything. They were amazing. When we went to their place, if I remember rightly, they didn't fill out their stadium. There wasn't really much noise. It's their away support that edges it for me. In all honesty, I would maybe keep them average. Maybe that might swift my mind, but for now, average.
Yeah, fair enough. Zach, you keeping him average?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fletch.
Yeah, keep him in average. Why not? You know.
Ranulph, are you keeping Norwich in average? Sorry, Watford. Sorry, Watford. I don't know why I said Norwich because you're a Norwich fan. But are we keeping Watford
alright.
in average?
No, I'm going to put them in poor, actually, to be honest. Yes,
Twist.
I will put
Right.
Watford in
Explain
poor.
your reasons.
Okay, first of all, I'm just going to say this is largely, okay, I know that journalists aren't supposed to be biased, but this is also just largely down to bias. I dislike Watford, honestly. I don't really know why, to be honest. I mean, I've got some reasons why. I mean, I think they're a bit infuriating at times. Like, well, Imran Louza was giving it large to the stand I was in last time that we played them for a start. And they're also I do know a lot. I do have quite a few Luton friends, and I've got quite a few Luton fans in my family. And honestly, Watford, they're just annoying, man. I mean, Hornets are annoying. I worry about Hornets flying into my window all the time in summer. It's so infuriating. And I just think, I feel little Watford spies, aren't you? And honestly, I did Watford away in the Carabao Cup last summer, and I mean, yes, it's a cup game. Yes, it's in midweek, and yes, there isn't very much hanging on it. But they didn't. Their main stand was completely empty, pretty much, and that's just sad. Honestly, they made no noise. They had a drum, which of course you can call me a hypocrite because we have got a drum. But I mean, at the same time, though, you shouldn't need a drum. You shouldn't rely on a drum to create atmosphere. And also, they did sell out their away allocation to us, but come on, it's about an hour and a half down the road. Honestly, we should always be selling Watford away out. They should always be selling Norwich away out. But yeah, Watford's fan base, I put them in poor because I don't think they're a very big club. You know, the only two things that really stand out for me in Watford are Forestieri, here's Hogdini, do not scratch your eyes, and Elton John. I love Elton John. I love that man to bits. I've seen him live. He's fantastic. And he's the only thing I like about Watford, honestly. But yeah, I put Watford in poor.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I think I'm gonna put Watford in average. I think they're a very small club for the Championship. I think they're not a good fan base in the Championship. They're not in the top 15 fan bases for me in the Championship. I'd put them in the bottom 5. Away and home, they are great. But yeah, I actually agree with you, Ranulph. I just don't like Watford that much. I mean, I don't know, yeah, it's just something about them, isn't there? Like, I don't know, but I don't rate the fans. I really don't rate the fans. I don't know. No, I think I'll keep them in average. I mean, you could argue that Vale or Oldham go above Watford, but yeah, we'll have to see. But looks like we'll be keeping them in average, which is the majority votes. Doncaster. Yeah, Doncaster's an interesting one. There's a lot of mixed opinions about Doncaster. Zach, you're the Doncaster fan. Start us off.
Go. I'm joking. We won League Two a couple of seasons ago, and then we had a brilliant season last season despite having a dip. Our fans, they've been getting behind them, and because of our fans, just about average.
Fair enough. Callum, what are you going for Doncaster?
This is an interesting one for me. So when you guys came to us, I think you sold out your allocation. Again,
Yeah, we
correct
did.
me if I'm wrong. You brought noise, you brought atmosphere. So again, your away support is amazing. Really good.
Thank you.
When we went to you guys, obviously you beat us. Just the atmosphere
What it
outside. All right, we'll get on to that. But even the atmosphere outside of the stadium before you go into the match, very welcoming. Didn't cause any dramas, like socializing the whole, and then inside the game itself, you were loud. And in all honesty, I would put them in good, just because of that way support.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Fletch, what are you going for?
Yeah, I think we spoke on it. I think the last time I was on that Doncaster kind of came up. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably just gonna keep them in average. I'm not gonna speak too much on them. I don't know much about them. Never been, so I don't want to, put them too high or too low. I'm gonna just go average here.
Yeah, fair enough. So I've crossed Doncaster a few times. Vale have played quite a few times. Let's start with the home support. The home support I actually think is decent. I do rate the home support. It's not too bad. Obviously, you get there's like quite a few empty seats and all that, but like that the atmosphere isn't actually too bad. It's it generates a decent atmosphere. Away support, I'm gonna have to disagree with Callum a little bit. Don't get me wrong; they're not poor away from home. I just feel like when when they came to us, they took 700. It's about just under 2 hours, and it was the start of the season.
Was that it? Was
They
that
were
last
playing-
season?
That was yeah, that was last season. It was around 700. And I think the season before as well, he sold around the same. So I think consistent around 700 isn't bad, but I think the second time I thought you could have taken it up the next level to maybe 800 or 900. I do feel like you sang in parts, you were okay, but in terms of away support as well, I saw you in Wembley as well. You were very good in Wembley. Yeah, average for me. Average. They can be noisy at times away from home, but I just feel like the numbers could have been a bit better. But for me, I think Doncaster going average above Watford. I think. So we're gonna QPR now. QPR is an interesting one. At the top of average, which is interesting. Let's get the thoughts of Ranulph. Oh, we actually didn't come on to Doncaster for you, Ranulph. Actually, let's go on to Doncaster for you first, quickly.
Yeah. Well, from what I can't really pass a huge amount of judgment on Donny because I haven't seen their fans. I haven't seen them live. But from what I've been told, like I've got a close friend who's a Rovers fan, and to be honest, I'd probably put them an average. But if I'd seen them live, then I think there would be a better argument for good. To be honest, because I think Rovers, they've got a loud fan base. I've seen them sell out a lot of away ends from what I've heard. They make
Yeah, we
noise.
have.
Yes, and also, of course, their home support, like you said, Mason, the seats are a bit gappy, but overall, still a good atmosphere. From what I can tell, I mean, a few years ago when you went 4-2 up, you pitch invaded, didn't you? Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Doncaster Rovers, very good fan base, and to be honest, I probably will keep them average just because I haven't seen them live. But I think there is a very good argument for them to being good. To be honest.
Yeah, fair enough. So I think when we keeping them average for now, we'll come on back onto you, Ranulph, for QPR.
Okay, well, we had this a few weeks ago, didn't we? Yeah. Yeah, I think average is the right place for QPR, honestly. Their football is, this is going to sound really, really offensive because, well, Sam Field, if you see this, and I'm sorry, their football is mediocre for this level, to be honest, and it has been for quite a while, to be frank. And, but, they do make a lot of noise at home. That chant that they've got with that goal chant that they've got whenever they score is a bit of an earworm, to be honest. But they do bring good numbers. So to be honest, average would be okay. I mean, you could argue good just because of the noise that they make. Average is probably the right place, but there's an argument for good, I think, as well.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll give QPR a go now. I feel like QPR. I think looking obviously at their attendances last season, they were ranked 21st, which is very low. I think it was around 16,000, the average for the championship, which ain't great for the championship. And you've got to think as well, if they did get relegated, they would only be taking 12 or 13,000 at home for League One, as there's usually a couple thousand fans that go down, especially between that gap. Away support weren't, in terms of the numbers, they were okay. They're not very ranked high up, to be honest. I think they're similar to, I won't say similar to Watford in terms of fans, because I do actually think Watford have just got better fans than QPR. I can't believe I'm saying this. And I don't think they're I don't think they're at the top of average. I think Doncaster could potentially be above them. I think any of them teams that are in there could be above QPR. I think you can make an argument for any of them teams in there. I think the average section's very open. I'm going to keep them in average. Callum, what are you going for?
Right. On 3, I think. Again, I don't want to go back too much to us, but they force a rivalry with us. So it's whenever we go there or they come to us, they only want to. It's not about the football. It's not at the average. Personally, I would say Donny have got better fans than QPR. But Watford, they exactly where they are, just on the back of Watford can't fill the stadium. QPR's taking. I don't know who's been, but it is a small ground. But yeah, if Watford can fill their stadium, Watford will be above them.
Yeah, fair enough. The reason why I put Watford just above QPR is I think Watford have got better away fans. That's stronger away support for me. Zach, have we been to you for QPR? I forgot.
No, yeah.
Yeah, go on, give us your thoughts.
I've not really seen much of QPR, so I can't really say much. So I'm going for average.
Yeah, fair enough. Fletch, have we said anything about QPR to you? Don't think we have.
No, not in this time. But I remember again a couple of weeks ago speaking on it. I mean, I think I put them in good. I mean, I was there, when they took 9,000 to West Ham. I thought they were brilliant. I know it's kind of it was FA Cup. It was a big day out for them. I haven't been to Loftus Road for a match, but I mean, I think that their supporters are quite good. I mean, I would argue to put them in good. I think they've been, mid-table, bang average for quite a while, and they still show up in their numbers. Again, the ground is small. I mean, so I think that might be, a reason why the attendance on average isn't great for them. But I think the ones that show up are loud, they're passionate, and I think the away support is good enough to suggest putting them in good.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so I think we're all going to put him in average. The average is so close. I mean, I think there's 5 teams there that any one of them could go top for me. I mean, you just can't call it. We are adding Reading into the mix now. We are coming on to Reading. It's going to be an interesting one now. As the Reading fan, we'll start with you. Where will we put Reading? And
Right.
explain your reasons why.
Okay. See, this is going to sound really harsh, me saying this, but honestly, I'd put them in average.
Fair enough.
Our away support is one of the best in the league, in my opinion.
I agree about that.
So I went to Orient away last season. I couldn't get a ticket in Orient away. I actually bought a ticket in the home end of Orient next to us lot. And the noise that we were making, unreal. Absolutely unreal.
Did you celebrate when you scored?
Fortunately, I couldn't. I was biting my tongue, but seeing it from a different point of view of watching Reading fans actually play and scoring and the chants, the music, everything, our away support is good. However, our
There's always a but.
home attendance is poor. Can't fill our stadium. Our stadium's too big for us, in my opinion. Even when we're at home, it's kind of soulless, in all honesty.
Yeah, fair enough. So average for Reading then. I am going to come on to the home kind of support. I am going to put Reading in average, but potentially the higher end of average. We'll have to see how things go. In terms of you did take around 10k, 11k average this season. Last season. Even though obviously you can't fill your stadium, though I do think that's still good numbers. Even though you can't fill your stadium, like with the likes of MK Dons, I actually think they get too much hate for not filling the stadium. But if you take a look at the numbers in terms of how the league's gone, they're up there and always in the top 5 in League Two for in terms of the numbers. So I do think Reading get too much hate in terms of the fans at home. And I think they get too much hate with the fans at home that they'll automatically think that the fans away are just poor when I don't think they are. You took over 1,500 to us. It was about a 3-hour journey, 6-hour round journey. Even though it was a tenner a ticket, it was still a good 3-hour journey. And I thought it was a fantastic turnout. Limbs were quite decent. You made a really good amount of noise. So away fans, you're fantastic. Definitely in the top 5 in League One. Pushing top 3. Home, I would still put you in that top 12 for home fans. Even though you can't fill your stadium, you still take the numbers. And I know when we came to you on the Tuesday night match, you were actually okay. When I was watching it on TV, we actually heard your fans quite a lot, and I said to my granddad, "Oh, even though you don't feel your stadium, you still got you were still quite noisy, especially that end with all the fans standing up and stuff. So we could definitely hear you. Sorry, I spoke too long on this one. I'm gonna put him in average for me, and I'm also going to after we come on to Reading, I'm going to make a case that Stockport go down. Zach, what are you going for, Reading?
Well, we beat them after 40 years.
I had to do a cheap shot.
I agree with you as well. That they are quite overhated by not filling their stadium, but their fans they do come and support their team. So and they have a decent away support as well. So because of that, I'm gonna put them in average.
Yeah, fair enough. Fletch, have you seen much of Reading?
I mean, we were talking about this off air, but with Callum is that Harvey Nibs being a Villa boy. I did try to watch them a lot. I'm sorry, Callum. I'm gonna have to put them in poor. And the only reason why is because I'm trying to be consistent here, and that I feel like if we put Wigan and Crew, kind of in those lower tiers, then I think we do have to put some emphasis on the home support. I don't know if it's called the Majeski anymore, but obviously for a club similar to Wigan that were in the Prem, that were doing well, they're filling up the ground, and then they've gone down, and the support has kind of shrunk up a little bit as far as the home support. That's the only reason why I put them in poor. I haven't seen them on the road, so I mean, I would have to take your word for it as far as the away support being decent. But I think you do have to at least put some credit for clubs filling out their home ground, and if they can't, then that's the only reason why I'd put them in poor. But that's, again, just my opinion.
Yeah, fair enough. And if you don't mind, I'm going to quickly say something to that. I think Reading and Wigan, obviously, they don't fill out the stadium and stuff. But then I'm going to look at Wigan's away support. Their away support isn't good at all. They took just over 1,000 to us when they came to us. Ain't great at all, and it's only about 50 minutes. We took over 2,400. So I think the reason why we put Wigan in tin pot is because, the home support ain't great. We're going to look at the away support. If that ain't great, they're going to have to go in tin pot. And for me, they're probably, you could make a case that they're going poor, but for now, they'll be in tin pot. But Ranulph, what are your thoughts on Reading?
On Reading, well, like I said, I probably don't know enough to pass a massive judgment, but from what I do know, I'd probably put them in the higher end of average. Of course, Callum, you had all that crap with that clown from China, who we won't mention by name.
Yep.
And I think, you've got an extremely resilient fan base for, sticking by the club through all of that, eventually getting him out, of course. Reading, good fan base. It's a shame that you don't fill your home ground because it's a former Premier League ground, to be honest. Well, it is. You guys were once a staple of the Premier League. But yeah, probably on the higher end of average. I do think I am backing Reading to have a good season this season, and hopefully that gets a few more people in the seats, of course. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, away support. I'm sure it's good, but I don't. But like I said, though, I don't know enough to pass massive judgment.
I think Reading would definitely be in poor or tin pot if their away support wasn't good. Their away support is class. That's why it puts them in average. And I think if you did get promoted next season into the Championship, I'm sure them numbers will start flying, and then we could potentially put you into good. We're gonna come on to a random team now. I'm just gonna go absolutely random. Who we get?
We do Rotherham.
Well, we've got KB
Rotherham.
Walk, who was supposed to come on. So I mean, we'll save Rotherham for next week, as he's supposed to be coming on next week. We could do MK Dons.
Oh, well, is there really much debate there?
I'm gonna start.
We all know. Okay, you want to do MK Dons?
Yeah, do you want to start?
Fine. Okay. All right. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah, MK Dons are going to be an interesting one in a couple of weeks because we host them in the first round of the Carabao Cup, which, by the way, has basically been made into an extra preseason friendly because it's on a Saturday and it's before the league even starts, which is stupid. But yeah, I'd probably put them in the lower end of poor, just from what I've seen. I mean, yes, they did have some good. They had some good numbers towards the end of last season when they're when they were secured automatic promotion. But it's just okay. First of all, I'm just going to put it there. Milton Keynes Dons are not a football club. They are a franchise. They're not a football club in my eyes.
Agreed.
They don't deserve. They don't deserve to be in the 92. They really don't. They're not a proper football club. They're the fake Dons. AFC Wimbledon are the real Dons. That's why it's called. That's why the refugee, my good friend, runs a channel called Real Dons TV, because he covers the real Wimbledon, which MK Dons just aren't. Now it'll be interesting to see how many they bring for that EFL Cup game, but Tin Pot, they're going Tin Pot for me, and that's not up for the discussion, to be honest.
Tin Pot, fair enough. Yeah, it's interesting. I do feel like if we do put MK Dons in poor, then Wigan would definitely have to go up into poor, because Wigan are better than MK Dons. Yeah, as I said before, obviously they're usually in the top 5 in League Two for their home support, with around 8,000. Usually they average around 8,000. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's great. I'll get it up for you now. I think it says League Two. Just take a look. Because I'm pretty sure they are like top. Oh, it should be. I'll find that in a minute. But I think away support ain't great. They took like just over 300 to us, and it's about a 2-hour journey. That ain't great. When they sell 8,000 at home, and then they only take out 300 away, is not great, especially with how far it is. It's only about 2 hours as well. Yeah, Tin Pot for me. Callum, what are you going for?
See, I haven't seen much of MK. Obviously, you hear all the bad press about it. I think that plays a massive part, and then obviously social media. So I completely agree. If we're putting MK in poor, then Wigan has to go up. I even think Rochdale have a better base than MK. So for me, it has to be, but
yeah, I agree. I've just had a look at they're actually a second for last season for their average home attendance, 8,543. So they're up there in League Two for their average attendance figures, with Notts County being top with 10,423. So, but there's still Tin Pot. Their away support is just dire, so bad. Zach, where are we going, MK?
Tin Pot, full stop.
Let's go on to Fletch. That was nice, sharp and quick.
Right.
Fletch, what are you
So
going for?
I'm gonna disagree on everyone here. I went to MK last season in FA Cup. Got a couple of good mates are MK Don supporters. To separate the club and all the shenanigans with how they came about and the supporters that show up, I'm gonna actually put them in average. And the reason being is because the ones that show up, in my opinion, they are class. And like you said there, for League Two, I think probably League One as well. They're gonna have some of the better numbers. Granted, it's not their fault they're in the ground they're at, and it's not their fault the way the club came about. But the supporters that go, and just speaking purely on the supporters there, I think they're class, because they have to take on all the abuse, all the brunt of what the rest of the EFL and the rest of English football think of them. They still show up in their numbers. I would disagree with you in the sense of the away support. While the numbers I don't think are great, I think they do bring a lot of noise, and on some of their travels. Especially the core group. I don't think they do travel well as far as the numbers, but the ones that do show up are class, in my opinion. And I know that I go against everyone saying to put them in average, but I just think it. Yeah, just for the ones that go, I give them a lot of credit because of what they have to go through, and they can't help it that they're from Milton Keynes. I mean, it's not a great place to live, is it?
Yeah, fair enough.
No one wants to live there.
Ranulph, MK. Where are we putting MK Dons?
Would you like me to just say it here? Okay, right. First of all, Fletcher, your points are completely valid. I get it. I get it. You got friends who are MK Dons fans. You know, fair play to the ones who do show up, yes, and the ones who are actually from Milton Keynes Dons. I mean, for years they were probably just wondering, we don't have a football club here, and then they did. It's just a shame about how that came about, but they're still tin pot for me. And you know, it all does depend on how many do turn up in a few weeks' time when we do play them, but they're still tin pot.
Yeah, so I'm guessing we're us four are agreeing then that's still tin pot, even with the Fletcher's comments that he made with but average. I'm guessing we're all still agreeing tin pot. So I do feel like MK have to go into tin pot with 4 against 1. And I'm sure we potentially there's a chance we could move them up if if the people that come on next week do put them in a higher tier. But I mean, we haven't got that long left, and we haven't talked about a couple of the top teams. Literally 30 seconds for each person. Who's the best out of them 4 in good? We'll start with Ranulph.
Norwich City. What else was I going to say?
I'll go. Unfortunately, I'm going to go Stoke. Stoke are I think the biggest club there. I think the home support ain't great, but they make up for it in away support. I think the closest one there to me is Norwich and Bolton. I think Stockport should be moved down, but we'll come on to that next week as we've run over time a little bit. For me, I'm going to go Stoke. It might change, but I'm just feeling Stoke round like him. I probably will change next week, but yeah, Stoke for me. Callum?
To be honest, I'm gonna have to go with Bolton just from what I've seen. Stoke are up there. More experiences at Bolton and Stoke, but Bolton for me.
Yeah, fair enough. So it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Fletch, where are you going?
Yeah, Bolton hands down for this category. I think Bolton are the better supporters out of the group here. They're absolute class.
Fair enough. And Zach, who are you going for the best out of these? Good.
I've liked watching Bolton this season, so I'm gonna go Bolton.
Yeah, fair enough. I think the most consistent out of the 4. Home they're good, away they're good. I think they've got to be at the top. I guess. Don't know why I said Stoke. I so regret that now. So regret that. I'm the only one who said him as well, and I'm the Vale fan. Yeah, that'll be all for today. I really appreciate Callum coming on for the first time as well. I really hope you enjoyed it. And we'll make sure to give your channel a promotion to promote it, to try and get it around, to try hopefully get people to subscribe and get to your 600 mark. Zach, Fletch.
You froze.
Perfect timing.
Every week. So it's it's really good to see you on consistently, and I really appreciate you guys coming on and giving your takes and everything.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
No
Thank
worries.
you very much. Thank you very much, Mason. It's
No
fun.
worries.
It's great.
So this show was a lot more smoother. The start wasn't very good, but I think it ran a bit more smoother this week, which is fantastic. And hopefully we can see you all back here next week to discuss more transfer news, more EFL clubs, and have some more controversial takes and more drama. Make sure to like and subscribe, everyone, and up the Vale.